Hey everyone, today I'm going to be going over your Math 6 test retake assignment. So in order to retake your test, you have to first complete this assignment and look it over with me and make sure that you're understanding everything and you're ready for your retake because we don't want to go into our retake not having prepared. So number 1 says there are 18 MSU fans and 21 U of M fans. Write the ratio of U of M fans to MSU fans in simplest form. So for my ratio, I'm going to have the ratio of U of M to MSU. There are 21 U of M fans and 18 MSU fans. 21 and 18 have a 3 in common. So their greatest common factor is 3. So I'm going to simplify by dividing by 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7, and 18 divided by 3 is 6. So I'm going to simplify that ratio to 7 over 6. This is a part-to-part ratio because they do not give you a total. So they are giving us two parts, the MSU fans and the U of M fans. They do not give us the total number of fans. To explain the meaning, I'm going to say for every 7 U of M fans, there are 6 MSU fans. And this is the sentence that we talked about in class, that if you have the for every and there are, that these two things are interchangeable. So we can change this and this for whatever ratio we're talking about. So if you made a note card, and many of you did, you probably had that sentence template right on there. So for every blank, there are blank, and then insert the information from your ratio. Number 2 says Matthew's Bakery says it uses 3 bananas to make a batch of 21 banana muffins. So I've got 21 banana muffins with 3 bananas. The advertised ratios of bananas to muffins for 2 other bakeries are shown in the table. So that's this table, and then the graph, so the graph over here. Which bakery advertises the greatest ratio of bananas to muffins? So when I solve this problem, I'm going to graph all 3, I'm going to graph the 2 tables on the number line with the points, and then figure out which one's going up the fastest, because that's going to have the greatest ratio. So to finish filling in this table, I'm going to go up by 21s. So 21, 42, 63, and 84, and then 3, 6, 9, and 12. I'm going to start by connecting the points that are already on my graph. So Muffin Madness is already on my graph, so I'm going to connect those dots together. I'm going to make my graph a little bit bigger to help me see. So I'm going to graph Millie's Muffins next because it's right next to it. So this is Millie's Muffins. So I go over 6, so this is 10 right here, so over to 6, up 1 is going to be here in the middle. 12 up 2 is going to be this first line. 18 up 3 is going to be in the middle again, and then 24 up 4 is going to be on the line again. And then those dots would be connected right here. If the pattern continued, this would be Millie's. And then for the first table, so Matthew's Bakery, it was over to 21 and up 3. So 3 is going to be here in the middle. 42 up 6, which is going to be this line. 63 up 9, which is going to be in between. And then 84 up 12 is going to be touching that 12 line. So this is Matthew's Bakery up here. So let's shrink this down back again. So with these 3 lines on the graph, I can see that Muffin Madness is the top line, then Millie's, then Matthew's. I'm looking for the greatest ratio of bananas to muffins. That's going to be the line that's the steepest, so Muffin Madness. Number 3 says, at the dance studio, Lola spends her time doing 9 lunges for every 12 spins. Maddie spends her time doing 5 sets of lunges for every 6 spins. Maggie spends her time doing 7 lunges for every 9 spins. In this one, I'm looking for who does the greatest ratio of lunges to spins. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get all of my spins to be the same. So I'm going to continue the pattern in each table until all of my lunges, or all my spins, are the same. So 27, 36, 36, and 48, 45, and 60, and then 54 and 72, 5, 10, and 12, 15, 18, 20, 24, 25, 30, 30, 36, and then 14, 18, 21, 27, 28, 36, 35, and 45, and then 42 and 54. So now I'm going to figure out where the spins are the same. So my spins are the same at 36. So if my spins are the same at 36, then Maddie does the most lunges. So when we talked about this initially in class, we said that when all 3 girls do the same number of spins, Maddie is the one who does the most lunges. Okay, this is extra. This is an extra explanation of what I'm showing in the tables. All you guys need to have is Maddie in that little cloud. Number 4 says, Miss Goulette solved 25 math problems in 40 minutes. At this rate, how many problems could she solve in 64 minutes? So this is the first of our ratio table problems. So I'm going to have problems in minutes. So I've got 25 math problems in 40 minutes. And I want to know how many she could solve in 64 minutes. Let's do it back to green. So I'm going to divide by 5 because 25 and 40 have a 5 in common. So I've got 5 and 8. And then to get from 8 to 64, I'm going to multiply by 8. So I multiply by 8 here, and I get 40. So 40 problems. Number 5 showed that number 5 says, a survey showed that 5 out of 6 students own a pet. Based on this result, how many of the 900 students in a school do not own a pet? So that's really important. So it says create a table or a tape diagram to solve. I'm going to create a table, but I can also show a tape diagram. So in my table, I'm going to have own, don't own, because that's what I'm trying to find, and then the total. Because remember that out of right here is part to whole. So 5 is the part and 6 is the total. So if 5 out of 6 total own a pet, then there is 1 out of those 6 that does not own a pet. Based on this result, how many of the 900 students, that would be the total of 900 students. And then I need to know how many times 6 goes into 900. Well, I could do my trick with the zeros, so I can cross out or hold my finger over one of those zeros and say how many times does 6 go into 90. It goes into 90 15 times. So times 15, and then I'm going to add a 0. So times 150. So 1 times 150 and 5 times 150. Well, 1 times 150 is 150. And then 5 times 150 is going to be 750. So how many students do not own a pet? 150 students do not own a pet. So there's my cloud answer. Number 6 says the ratio of points Elijah scored during the basketball game to the number of points Gavin scored is 3 to 4. Elijah scored 12 points, so how many points did Gavin score? So I've got Elijah and Gavin. Elijah is 3 and Gavin is 4. And if Eli scored 12 points, 3 times 4 is 12. So 4 times 4 is going to be 16. So Gavin scored 16 points. I did not need the total column because this was a part-to-part relationship. So this right here is part-to-part. And they gave us another part. Number 7 says Lakeshore Middle School has 400 6th and 7th graders. If the ratio of 6th graders to 7th graders is 3 to 5, how many 6th graders are in the school? So I've got 6th graders, 7th graders, and the total. They gave me a part-to-part. This is a part-to-part. So 3 to 5, which means that my total is 8. And then they give me a total number of students, which is 400. To get from 8 to 50, to get to 8, from 8 to 400, I'm going to multiply by 50. So I'm going to multiply everything by 50. So I get 150 here and 250 here. So how many 6th graders are in the school? There are 150 6th graders. To show any of these in a tape diagram, for number 5, 5 out of 6 means that I'm going to have 6 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. And my line would be here. I've got 900 total students. So that's the entire tape diagram. And that means that there's going to be 150 students in each box. Because 900 divided by 6 is 150. So just like we got here, 6 times 150 is 900. Same idea here. And then we want this side of the tape diagram because this side owns it and this side does not. For Eli and Gavin, my tape diagram would have 3 on one side of the line and 4 on the other. And then this is the Eli side, this is the Gavin side. And then I'm going to have 3 of these 3 boxes are going to have 12 points total. So there's going to be 4 in each box. If there are 4 in each box, then Gavin here has 16 points. For number 7, if I want to do a tape diagram, I'm going to have 8 boxes altogether because my part-to-part tells me that this side has 3. So that's going to be my 6th graders. And then my 7th grade side has 5. The total number of students is 400. So again, I'm dividing that over 8 boxes. So 400 divided by 8 is 50 students per box. So 50 all the way across. And then I want to know how many 6th graders. So I'm going to add these 3 boxes together. I get the same answer in all 3 places for each problem. The tape diagram just shows it a little bit differently, and some of you guys have shown that you like the tape diagram. So there's your tape diagrams for those 3 questions. Number 8 says how many ounces are in 5 pounds. Well, the first thing that we are going to start with is the fact that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. So when I make my ratio table, I'm going to have pounds and ounces. And the fact that there is 1 pound and 16 ounces is where I'm going to start. And then I've got 5 pounds. So to get from 1 to 5, I'm going to multiply by 5. And 16 times 5 is 80 ounces. Number 9 says you have 6 gallons of lemonade. How many pints of lemonade do you have? So ounces, pounds. I have 6 gallons, and I'm trying to get to pints. Well, I know that 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts, and that 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. So those are the conversion factors that I need. I'm going to start my table by going from gallons to quarts because they gave me gallons right here. And in order to get to pints, I have to go through quarts first. So 1 gallon is 4 quarts, and I have 6 gallons. To get from 1 to 6, I'm going to multiply by 6. So 4 times 6 is 24. That 24 is going to go into my next table. So now I'm going to go from quarts to pints. I know that there is 2 pints in 1 quart, and I know that I've got 24 quarts. So to go from quarts to pints, I'm going to multiply by 24, and I get 48 pints. Number 10 says a family traveled 600 miles in 12 hours. How many miles per hour did they travel? So my rate is 600 miles in 12 hours. Remember, we did our unit rates in the ratio table. So 600 miles. Oops, I didn't need to write miles again. In 12 hours. So I'm going to divide by 12 to get to 1. And I get 50 miles per hour. So my unit rate is going to be 50 miles in 1 hour. Number 11 says it costs $10 to buy 20 pieces of candy. How much does it cost for each piece? Oops, not the eraser, highlighter. For each piece of candy means that candy goes on the bottom. And we should know that our money goes on top. So it costs $10 for 20 pieces of candy. So I've got dollars and candy. I want to include units on everything. So I've got $10 for 20 pieces of candy. And I want to divide by 20 to get to 1. There's a couple different ways to go about this. I can know that 10 is half of 20, so this is going to be 0.5, which is 50 cents. Or I can say, if I've got 10 out of 20, how do I get to $1? So I get to $1 by multiplying by 5, and 10 times 5 is going to be 50 cents. So I can either write this as $, for one piece of candy. Or I can write 50 cents for one piece. Either way is correct. So you need both of these answers on each of these. You need the rate and the unit rate. Order matters. Units matter. So making sure that the correct value is on the bottom is really important. How many miles per hour did they travel? How much did it cost for each piece of candy? Okay, those things go on the bottom of your fraction. 12 and 13, we're using rates. So number 12 says Daniel can run 20 yards in 4 seconds. So I've got yards and seconds. So if he can run 20 yards in 4 seconds, how many yards would you expect him to run in 12 seconds? Well, to get from 4 to 12, I'm going to multiply by 3. So I would expect him to be able to run 60 yards. Last one is the can question. So it says Sam's Club sells cans of soup in a case. There are 12 cans in each case, and it sells for $9. Meijer sells the same brand of soup, and you can get 8 cans for $15. If a caterer wants to buy 48 cans of soup, how much money will they save by buying the cans from Sam's Club than Meijer? So I'm going to have 2 tables. I'm going to have 1 table for Sam's, and I'm going to have 1 table for Meijer. So I've got the cost, and I've got the number of cans in both tables. So I've got cost and cans. At Sam's Club, there are 12 cans in each case, and it sells for $9. At Meijer, it is 8 cans for $15. And the caterer wants to buy 48 cans. So that 48 is going to be the same in each table. And now I'm going to figure out what this missing number is right here, so that I can figure out how much money I saved at Sam's Club versus Meijer. So to get from 12 to 48, I'm going to multiply by 4. So 9 times 4 is 36. Over here, I'm going to multiply by 6 to get to 48. So if I multiply by 6, 15 times 6 is 90. So I save quite a bit of money by buying the cans at Sam's Club. So I'm going to do 90 minus 36. So 10 minus 6 is 4. So $54. This is the end of the test retake assignment. If you did not get the answers to your questions by watching this video, please let me know. And I hope you are feeling extremely prepared for your test retake after this assignment.